Whatever you think of Kari Lake's claims of election fraud that have been deemed to be baseless by the courts, a newspaper columnist critical of the failed Arizona gubernatorial candidate believes he's found a role that would suit the former news anchor. The Arizona Republic's E.J. Montini notes that a Christian group that recognized Lake for her propensity to predict the future, and with nearly every time Kari Lake made the group's list of false prophets, Montini wrote in a scathing piece on the far-right figure's demagoguery as it was described by Faithful America, a Christian organization behind the False Prophets Don't Speak for Me initiative. Unlike Arizona governor, it is a position for which she appears to have the qualifications. Montini's piece, which ran under the headline "Kari Lake Still Expects God and the State Supreme Court to Make Her Governor," followed a gathering Lake held Tuesday at a Mesa church she described as a prayer event, and which the columnist described as her latest prank. "We told you we'd bring our election case to the Arizona Supreme Court, and we did," Lake wrote in a tweet advancing the event. "Now, it's time to pray together for the Supreme Court and praise God with great expectations." But if recent history is any indication, Lake supporters probably shouldn't expect much. Montini notes that an Arizona appeals court judge described Lake's assertions of election fraud to be, quite simply, sheer speculation. Lake's arguments highlight election day difficulties, but her request for relief fails because the evidence presented to the Superior Court ultimately supports the court's conclusion that voters were able to cast their ballots, that votes were counted correctly, and that no other basis justifies setting aside the election results, the ruling said. Lake proceeded to take her case to the Arizona Supreme Court, Montini writes, tweeting at the time, "Pray for our attorneys. Pray for the judges. Pray for justice. Pray for America." Lake's efforts to tap into some form of divine intervention have included a march around Maricopa County's election, horns blaring, with the expectation of a biblical Battle of Jericho-style event where the walls crumble. They didn't. I am not an expert in the ways of the Almighty, but it seems likely that her prayers already have been answered. Just not with the reply she'd hoped to receive, Montini writes.